Hi everyone. We came across our fifth edition of the CISA exam training material, which is based on the 27th edition, and you could start preparing it during this time. If you like my presentation, please subscribe to it so that you will be notified as and when I keep posting new videos on this. And I am actually posting these videos on a daily basis so that it becomes easier for everyone involved to go ahead with this. So as we proceed, domain one, and we are seeing the various business processes. So one of them is image processing. So again, here, what we mean by image processing. So image processing actually involves lot amount of images. It involves lots amounts of graphics, and it is a heavily loaded uh, data flow pattern. So the auditor, when he or she looks into it, so he or she has to actually look into the planning part of it, the audit part of it, and again there is a redesign of the workflow, because as and when paper documents have been pushed into electronic image processing formats, there has been a change in the workflow. So that scanning devices play a very important role in this flow of activities. Software security and training, because the entire nature of processing activities has changed when we go into image processing. Industrial control systems, so this could be a SCADA system, and this could be systems where it that entire SCADA system actually controls a unit of an industrial production. So here the auditor could look for information flows. How is it flowing inside the ICS? So that is very important, because any delay or any flaw in the flow of the information in a process industry where such kind of systems are used would create havoc. Are there any unauthorized changes to instructions? How is it happening? Inaccurate information being sent to the system operators, or the ICS software or the configuration settings getting modified. So when we talk about this, so we say what we mean about this is that one should be having one of those industrial systems should be having the latest ICS softwares. Patches should be regularly applied and they should be updated. Interference with the operation of the safety system. So I mean, no one or everyone shouldn't be allowed to go in and just interfere with the working of the systems which are safe in nature. So when we think about the points which actually caters to the area which the auditor should look for, we are basically looking about the corresponding controls. So the typical controls could be restrict logical access. So we might want to have a DMZ or something of that kind. Restrict physical access. So you allow only people who are authorized basically to go in. Protect individual components. So each of those components need to be properly protected. They need to have their absolute antivirus updated on them, and the patches and the OSs updated on them. Restore systems after an incident. So in case there is any incident which happens, how does the system restore itself? And maintain functionality during adverse conditions. So how does a system function even if there are adverse conditions which are into it? Then we push on to artificial intelligence. Again, it's gaining a lot of grounds nowadays. So basically, artificial intelligence could be broken up into three components. So the way the artificial intelligence would come in, one could be the decision trees. So here, what happens is questions are asked, which could lead to various choices until a conclusion is reached. Rules. Now you use an if and then statement. If it is this, then it is that. That kind of an artificial intelligence which we are building in. Semantic nets. So here we actually use graphs where we have nodes which are physical or conceptual objects, and the arcs point to their relationships. So some of the areas where the reviews might happen could be understanding the purpose and functionality. Why do I have artificial intelligence in the first place? Why do I need it? And what is it giving as an output? What is it supposed to cater to? Am I catering to the policies and the procedures? Are the decision logics, as I mentioned on the top, are they being properly adapted to? Procedures of knowledge updates, how is it happening? Who is updating the KB rules? Who is updating the KBs? Security access over the system, how secured is the system? And since this is a very niche field, so qualified persons need to do their maintenance and upgrades. SCM, supply chain management. So it basically links all the areas, like we saw in yesterday's video where I was talking about a sales, how it happens, an online sales. So it actually triggers the entire logical as well as your stocks part of it also. So your supply chain management caters to that. So it says it actually links all the areas. It is real time if it is monitored to that aspect, because as we saw in our video yesterday, in case there is a function which happens on a sales side, so it will obviously trigger the inventory portion and your SCM would get triggered. CRM, we are talking about customer relationship management. So this is a customer centered application which sees customer as the center point, and that portion is focused upon here. We push on to a segment on using services of other auditors and experts. So a time would come possibly in any auditing cycle where the thought process would come, should we be using the services of other auditors or we need to bring in some experts? So how do you go about it? So we first need to understand what are the rules, laws, regulations, policies, procedures on outsourcing. Are there any restrictions basically on outsourcing? What does the audit charter say? We saw it in our second session, what is an audit charter, what it should contain. I will not delve on that in today's session, but it will actually check how is the audit charter maintained, or are there any specific contracts which allows this or disallows this. Do I have a professional liability out there? I also need to understand what is the scope of work that will get outsourced. Is the person who is going to do the work, how he or she is going to maintain the professional standards? What are the legal and regulatory standards? Does it allow or does it not allow? Background checks of the auditors, because they are outsourced or the experts who may not be working with us in another project which is coming up, maybe, may not be. What is the review mechanism that I have in place to see how their work is and assess the appropriateness of such external report providers? So I need to assess also to understand how much appropriate they are to our overall functioning and to our overall work. So with this, we come to the end of today's session, and we will continue our session tomorrow again with our next topic. Thank you.